Hello and welcome to Read with Pride, a podcast focused on LGBTQIA plus literature brought to you by the Ocean County Library's Ocean Pride Committee.
Hello, my name's Frank, my pronouns are he and they, and I am one of your two intrepid co-hosts of the Read with Pride podcast.
I'm your other co-host, my name is Lexi, and I go by she, her.
And today we are joined by one of our lovely compatriots within the library, right out of youth services.
Woo!
Oh,
Amy!
Yes, hi. My pronouns are also she, her.
All right, and today we are going to be talking about the theme of the season. It's back to school, baby.
That's right, it is.
Indeed.
Now, today what we wanted to talk about was books that focus on that back to school feeling, that highlight queer lived experiences, what it's like to be queer in school, what it's like to be queer and young. Lexi, what book did you read today?
Okay, so I read Winnie, Nash is Not Your Sunshine by Nicole Melleby.
That's such a strong title.
It's a very strong title, and it completely fits the book perfectly. I like the two. I get it.
I think that's on my list.
It might be. It's on a lot of Goodreads lists with your book, which is...
Linus and Etta Could Use a Win by Caroline Huntoon. I assume is how you pronounce it.
I'm proud of myself. I actually looked up the name before. I remembered to look up.
I mean, it seems... You never know, though. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, Frank, what did you read today?
So I read a YA novel called Gay Club by Simon James Green. There is a little subtitle that's "You Can't Call It Gay Club." An outrageous novel. And outrageous is definitely the way to describe it. This is about some of the most cutthroat parts of high school, which is to say, student body elections.
Which is funny because my middle grade novel, which I did not specify, I am now, is also has to do with 8th grade elections.
Ooh.
Unintentional.
My God, what are we?
I think I had already grabbed this before you decided on yours.
That sounds correct.
Yeah.
So what that is Frankie copied.
I can't speak for that.
What can I say? Great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm.
And I may or may not have asked a youth services librarian for help picking a book.
Maybe.
That would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ludicrous. Out of this world.
That's not what I'm here for.
All right, Lexi, what's your book about?
Okay, so imagine you are a 12-year-old girl. Your parents are having another baby and are also kind of dealing with previous miscarriages, stuff going on in their marriage, and they decide to send you to your grandmother's house for the summer, and she lives at the Jersey Shore. You are also
on the Jersey Shore.
I know. Side note, while I was reading this book, which I picked out completely randomly, it was on my Goodreads, there were so many places that are really close to here, and also so many places that I've been to. It was wild. That was really fun, though, because she was like, yeah, we're going to Pride in Asbury Park. And I was like, oh my God, I go there every year.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Some of us even go there for work.
Yeah.
That is true. So yeah, she spends the summer with her grandmother. The only thing is that she is gay. And her parents specifically told her not to tell her grandmother that.
Ooh.
Oh no.
So you can imagine, going through the summer, especially being 12 years old.
Terrible.
And kind of, I think all around. And kind of trying to deal with life and navigate, what exactly does that look like for the summer? So it's very interesting, and the New Jersey, nods in here were definitely encouraging. It just made you want to read more and more. Already a very good, very strong story, but it was really fun, seeing all the places that I've also been to in real life. But yes, and I don't think I specified before, this is also a middle grade book.
So, Lexi.
Yes.
your protagonist, she was told specifically not to tell grandma.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Winnie has this mantra that her family has kind of told her where you keep stuff that happens in the house. You don't kind of tell people outside. And her grandmother, you know, they don't really know how she'll react. They don't think it would be good. So she keeps a lot of this inside, which I'm sure, you know, everyone can kind of imagine how hard that is, especially being 12. And she is very much out in her regular life. You know, her parents know, her friends, her school, like she's very much not closeted. So to go from that to having to hide this huge part of yourself to someone you're living with and who's taking you everywhere and who you're spending so much time with is devastating.
Yeah.
That would be like being forced to go back into the closet is
not good.
That's certainly a way to put it. Oh boy, is that a way to put it. And so I know that with a lot of people, when they're coming out to family, sometimes parents will say like, oh yeah, like you can tell us anything, but grandma and grandpa, they wouldn't get it. They love you, they just wouldn't get it. So it's not worth trying.
And that's a really good point because this book is it reads like very like contemporary, very like new, but like, you know, a lot of the kids who haven't necessarily had to struggle in school because it is more accepted. And then to have that dynamic at home, and then that's also with like, you know, your older relatives or someone who's of an older generation. So like it is whiplash for her. Like, you know, it's very strange to go from one way to the next. And she has a lot of like really difficult times. I won't spoil the whole book, but basically while her grandmother is taking care of her, she lives in kind of like a senior community. So her grandmother won't let her stay home alone. So when she goes to her like weekly games, she takes Winnie, and Winnie has to do like the adult book club, which is like, it's filled with like, you know, seniors. And then she's just kind of there. So one of the members who she kind of gets close to keeps suggesting gay books, as Winnie says, and it's very interesting. And then, you know, Winnie also sees and meets some other grandkids that she can kind of hang out and get close with and finds out, you know, she actually has more of a community than she thought.
Yeah. Asbury Park has been...
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Asbury Park's been a very prominent LGBT city.
Yeah.
For
a long
decades
time.
And decades.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I know that recent polls have stated that some, like, I think it's like 65% of surveyed individuals 21 and younger identify as some kind of LGBT. Anyway, as being LGBTQ has become less and less stigmatized, more and more kids have been realizing sooner, and so it makes sense that like you are going to find community everywhere you go if you seek it out.
Yeah.
Yep. And she talks in the story about how, you know, the Asbury Park Pride, which is called Jersey Pride, is her very first like Pride event, and it's really cool to see because, you know, like you kind of, as a baby gay, you remember like the first time that you went to a Pride or you were in a space that was like predominantly queer and you felt really accepted.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really fun because, again, like she the author name drops a lot of local places from like Asbury Park to Point Pleasant Boardwalk. You know, they talk about the Jersey Shore. She mentions Rook, the coffee place. Like it's, yeah, it was really fun. So it was very easy for me to put myself in Winnie's shoes. Obviously that's not going to be the case for every reader, but I can say from like my unique, you know, experience, it was really nice. It was easy to put myself in there. And I think, and Amy, you can kind of chime in on this. When you read middle grade books, I think a lot of the characters are designed so they are kind of easy for like a wide array of people to put themselves in their shoes.
Yeah, no, that I feel like that makes sense. I've basically come across that too.
Yeah.
Because then it makes kids want to read it and make it more easy for them to read it.
Exactly. I was a children's librarian for many years, and that was something that we heard over and over was, you know, like teachers would ask us, what are books that kids can like actually relate to, you know, more than just an idea, kind of like a concept. They actually can see this being real for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you find that in your book?
So I will do my best to synopsis this. I feel like I'm not good at synopsing books, but so Linus and Etta are both 8th graders, and Linus is, I believe, about a year prior came out as a trans boy. I almost said man. He's not a man. And he lived in New York with his parents.
Yeah.
And I think Frank relates to that.
I should have figured it out earlier, but yeah. So far, very on par.
On par for the middle grade relations.
I too was a 12-year-old boy once. I just didn't know it.
So he's from New York. They recently moved to Ohio. What a choice! To be closer to his grandmother, who recently like had a fall, and they want to just be around to help her out. But he takes this as a good thing because he's like, oh, I can go to this new school and no one knows that I haven't always been a boy.
Yeah, you don't have to be the trans kid.
Right. And that's his big thing. He's like, you know, people were always supportive, but they were just so bad with remembering names and pronouns and all of that jazz. And he's like, I don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. So that's how it starts off, where he initially doesn't come out to anybody new that he meets. Mm-hmm. His parents know, his grandma knows. As we go through, you know, we find out his grandma also has trouble with the names and pronouns, but he was also originally named after her.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Oh, and he picks his Linus, his name, after his grandfather to stick with the tradition.
That's really
which is really sweet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you are trans and you attempt to live without telling people you're trans, that's called going stealth.
Got it.
So Linus is going stealth into this new school in Ohio, starting 8th grade.
Yep.
Which is a
rough,
famously fraught year for anyone. It's right before high school. He's the new kid, and he's going from New York to Ohio, which must be an incredible culture.
Such a change.
It was a change for me to go from New York to New Jersey, and we both have New in the name. So I can't imagine New York to Ohio.
Yeah, that seems rough.
Do you know what part of Ohio? Like, was it a city, or was it just kind of like...
I don't remember if it's specified.
Because I'm just, not that, you know, I'm just thinking, like, there's a big difference between
the
going
school
to Columbus.
is named Doolittle Middle School, but whether or not there's even a real city, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I was just curious.
I don't think it's specified other than the school name.
I'm gonna guess generic suburbs.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so throughout the book, he meets new friends. He meets the other two main characters are Etta, as you would imagine, and Marigold, I believe her name was. Yes. He initially is like, oh, I kind of like Marigold. She's cute. But he's also friendly with Etta. Mm-hmm. Turns out that he doesn't find this out right away. I don't think this is a spoiler. I'm not telling you the ending. But Etta and Marigold used to be like best friends, and recently had a like friend breakup.
There's that school drama.
Yep. Middle grade drama.
Bad.
I know. I was kind of flashing back to middle school drama breakups. Relatable.
Yeah.
Highly relatable content over here.
Yeah.
So Marigold and Etta had a friendship breakup.
Yep.
And Linus has a crush on Marigold and is also befriending Etta.
Yep.
Okay.
Set up for disaster. What happens?
Yeah. So, well, let me go further because you need this for the plot of the story. Marigold, I forget how it comes up, but winds up betting Etta that she can't help anybody. Like, she says she's going to pick somebody random. She winds up picking Linus. That Etta can't help whoever she picks to become elected to, like, student government. And Linus initially is like, oh, maybe, but I'm not sure if I want to do this. So, yeah, it goes through that, like, and then it turns out he does get elected to the government in general, and then the bet goes further to be like, oh, well, you can't get him to be president. And drama ensues.
I bet he can be president, actually.
Well, that would be spoiling the end of the story, so.
See, in Gay Club, the big election happens midway through the book.
Okay.
So I actually would not call it a spoiler if it happens smack dab in the
That's
middle.
fair. That's fair.
I think the actual presidential election is at the end,
Okay. So, as a former student government, Model UN,
Can't relate.
classic high school
I can't relate
overachiever,
either. I love it.
I remember when I was running for student body president when I was a senior in high school, and I lost by 1 vote.
Oh my god.
Wow.
No. Are you serious? 1 vote? Oh my god.
I know this because I was the person who made the voting form, and so I was the one who had access to it.
Oh, that's a little interesting.
Yeah, that seems...
Well, you see, I was a goody two-shoes, and I could have used this in my favor, and then I didn't. And then I was asked by the administration of my high school to still act as the primary liaison because they did not like the person who was elected.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So I low-key ran a shadow government when I was a senior.
Okay, so there was a puppet president.
There was a puppet president and there was me.
All right.
Okay.
Uh,
The truth comes out.
it's okay, now I'm operating under a different name.
Yeah. Also, statute of limitations. It's fine.
Yeah. So I very much so remember how, and I think this is a thing that is relatable for all of our books, that when you are in middle school, when you're in high school, that is your world.
Yes,
Mhm.
very much.
You see your friends when you're in school more than you see your family. You're
Yep.
spending all this time in school. Everyone's telling you that, you need to do well in school. It's the most important thing. So what happens in school feels like the most important thing in your life.
Yeah,
And so
it's true.
when friend breakups happen,
Oh my god.
when constitutional crises occur
Yeah.
in your LGBTQ plus society, that is the end of the world.
Mhm.
Yep.
So did you guys, I have a quick question. I'm going to jump in. I was kind of amazed, but also not, that in my book, she's 12 years old. She has a smartphone and she's able to FaceTime her family and she can talk in text and all that. I thought that was super interesting because, obviously, I'm really old. That was not around. I didn't get a smartphone until I was in college.
Same.
Although I probably could have in high school, but I didn't. And it was really interesting because along with that, there's the whole thing of you can get cyberbullied so much easier, but you can also make connections so much easier. It was really it was really interesting to kind of see how that came into my book. Did you guys notice any sort of technology or?
Frank, yours was high school based, so I
Mine was
imagine.
high school
That's
based,
true.
so technology plays an incredibly big role.
Does it? Okay.
And there are Twitter scandals.
Ah.
There's
yeah.
fake posting.
Oh my gosh.
2 marriages get destroyed.
Oh, what?
Adult marriages.
Oh wow, this is
What?
getting spicy.
All right.
So, if it's okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will introduce what's going on in Gay Club, and then I will talk more about the technology.
Do it.
Yeah.
And also, I think y'all are just old.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
have
got-
a cell phone
I
until
remember
freshman
MySpace.
year of high school, and it
Yeah.
was a T9 phone. So yeah, I had MySpace.
I was thinking today how annoying it used to be to text.
Yeah.
That's rough. Anyway, so Gay Club follows Barney, a young, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed gay 11th grader who lives in a very normal suburban part of England. This book takes place in England.
Okay.
Now, he is certain that he is going to be elected the president of the LGBTQ plus society because the LGBTQ plus society has 4 members. He's one. His best friends are members 2 and 3, and his primary opposition, a girl named Bronte, she is the 4th.
Okay, so like there's pretty good odds, but kind of. But
So what you need to understand
yeah.
is that teenagers who take student positions very seriously are brutal
I would never.
and
I
conniving.
wouldn't know that.
as a former one myself. And so Bronte,
Is that after the author? Is that Bronte like spelled like the author?
I don't know, it's a common girl's name in England.
Oh.
There's no umlaut.
Yeah.
There's no umlaut in the text, but
Who
it's
knows?
pronounced like there is.
Okay.
Interesting.
I suppose so.
That would be a fun nod.
Yeah.
Yes. So, high school politics are the same everywhere. So, the LGBTQ plus society's first meeting of the year, where the election is supposed to take place, gets derailed when Bronte says, hey, you know, this club is in crisis. We don't have enough membership. We're not engaging. We're not doing enough. So I had a really big and progressive idea, and because you're all such forward thinkers, and I knew you would sign off immediately on this idea, I already talked to our principal about it.
Oh no.
And to be so progressive and inclusive to make sure that everyone feels like they get a say, she opened voting of this very small club to the entire student body.
Yes, that's not great.
And so that effectively turned this into a general election
Gotcha.
for the LGBTQ
Okay.
plus society.
Okay.
Bronte also happens to be very rich and popular and have a lot of connections with other social groups. So Barney and his best friend George and his other best friend and Bronte's ex-girlfriend Maya, yeah, there's drama. There's so much drama.
Okay.
They are all certain that she has only done this in order to swing the vote in her favor.
Right.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
They're once the campaigning gets going, at first Barney has a decent shot. People don't really know him, but that also means they don't dislike him.
Right.
Until one day during lunch, Bronte stages a huge public promposal to
wow.
the former president of the LGBTQ plus society, Big Mandy. They call her that because she was really loud, even though she's very short in the text.
Oh my gosh.
Which, as a fellow short person, nothing but respect. So there's a very big promposal that's clearly staged with like singing "Take Me or Leave Me" from Rent.
Oh.
Which is not a song you want to sing for a last
No.
relationship.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
no, but like, what a like showstopper just to make like.
And
Wow.
she uses that as a big public, like a PR stunt
Mhm.
for a high school election. I need
Wow.
to just keep reminding people that this is in high school. And so George says to Barney, all right, we need you to be relatable. You don't look gay enough.
Oh no.
So
Wow.
we need to do a tale as old as time. You need to fake date someone. This is where the technology comes back.
Okay.
In
Okay.
fact,
Yeah.
because during George and Pax's first date, George is like sneakily taking pictures outside of the Nando's, England.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And while Bronte and Mandy's promposal was posted all over online, there are posts from social media about the campaign. When photos of Paxton and Barney go live, Bronte reports it to the principal, saying that people are unfairly looking into their lives.
Oh jeez.
There's a lot of one-upsmanship in this election.
Sounds like it.
Bronte gets her millionaire dad to donate $500 worth of books to the school library.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool.
I mean, yeah, but...
We love that.
Yeah.
And she gets someone from the local paper to be there. And then Barney, at the behest of George, his campaign manager, sells his PlayStation to buy children's books for the local elementary school. And they get a drag queen from a small town further away because all the London queens were too expensive to do a drag queen story time. And the drag queen story time goes super well. But Barney does get bombarded by a small-time reporter who is the best friend of Bronte's older sister, who takes a bunch of quotes about, like, oh, well, do you really think that maybe, like, the whole pronouns thing is too confusing for kids? And, you know, they couldn't tell if that was a man or a woman. Isn't that inappropriate?
Bronte's too good at this.
This gets published on...
She's 17.
Seriously.
She's 17. And takes some quotes of Barney's out of context to make him seem transphobic.
We got some bad journalism.
We got some bad faith, some within the community bad faith journalism.
Wow.
We're not even halfway through the book.
Oh, no.
And that article drops online the day that voting opens.
Oh, wow.
Now, similarly, Big Mandy comes to our squad and says, hey, backing up, when Barney first announces that he's going to do this really good thing with the elementary school, Bronte falsifies an anonymous complaint about LGBT books in their school to make her donations seem better. Like she's like a freedom fighter rallying against censorship. But while their school isn't super accepting, there were no complaints from parents about this, so she made one up. And Big Mandy can't take it. And comes clean to George, Barney, and Maya.
This girl needs to go to, like, college for journalism. Or, like, politics or something. Like,
no, I think very specifically she shouldn't go into politics.
No, because this is exactly what it's about. Like, this is exactly... this is the people who succeed in politics. This is where they start.
This is how they start, and I don't think that's a good thing.
No.
I don't know what her dad does.
This is a dark mirror of myself. No. Anyway, so throughout all of this, with the backstabbing and the lying, she fakes that her guinea pig Piggles died.
Oh, jeez.
To garner support after she's exposed as doing this fraudulent book complaint.
That feels like bad karma.
Very bad karma.
It does, yeah.
And the whole reason that this has snowballed, because president of LGBTQ+ society, yeah, that's a good thing to have on your college application, but it's a small club. It really depends school to school what it means. So why is this such a big deal?
Fair point.
You see, there's a bigger organization called Rainbow Alliance that is having a big competition for different LGBT clubs across the UK to compete to show why their school is great or why their LGBT group is great. And if you win, then you would get selected to not only go to a big conference in London, but also there's supposedly a big trip to New York to meet up with some American LGBTs. And when the principal reveals this, he can't believe Bronte didn't tell them.
Of course.
Yep.
Here we go.
So, I will leave off with this gets more complicated. There are like online chat rooms for a chess forum that leads to a secondary relationship outside of the fake dating relationship. This book really made me feel like I was back in my campaign.
Yeah.
In the best and worst ways.
Oh, man.
I did have friends who I would be like, okay, I need you to poll the underclassmen. What are they thinking about me? We need to do this. Do we hand out stickers? Buttons? What makes a good poster? Am I, dressing in a hip and relatable way?
Wow.
It was crazy. And at the end of the day, neither of them win the election. And I'm going to leave it there.
Hello, adventurers. If you enjoy this content, please take a look at the Ocean County Library's new podcast called Forge Your Imagination, a guide to immersive world building. This new podcast is dedicated to helping creative individuals design their own expertly crafted worlds for books, games, Dungeons & Dragons, and more. Tune in on the first Wednesday morning of every month to learn more. Thanks for listening, and safe travels, adventurers.
Being back in the election mindset also made me think of what it felt like to be queer and a student. Because the election gets open to everyone, technically it does become a bigger club. It does become more inclusive, and for better and for worse, where some people do join the club as a joke to be bigots and bully the membership. There are also people who take it as a genuine learning opportunity, and it leads to some really interesting discussions. One of the characters, the surprise dark horse who wins the election, who I haven't named yet, and I'm not going to.
That's fair.
So you need to read the book.
Yes.
Yeah. Is not nearly as in the know about LGBT stuff. And when they are introducing the club, and they don't just call it gay club, they're like, no, it's the LGBTQ society. You can't call it gay club because it's not just about gay men.
Right.
That's the whole bit.
This is
Or
where
gay
the title
people in
comes
general,
in.
like-
The gay, because Barney makes a beautiful speech and he's like, we're all in gay club. And Bronte hates that. So there's a whole bit of discourse about what the acronym is.
Yeah.
Now, I think that that's something really cool to actually discuss, because when most people think LGBT or LGBTQIA+, that's usually lesbian, gay, bi, trans, and then we have discrepancies. Is Q questioning, or is it queer? LGBTQ.
Plus, you also have IA+.
IA+. Intersex is not a debated one. IA, some people say that A stands for ally. Some people say that A stands for asexual.
Yep.
If you wanted to go into it more, it'd be LGBTQIA 2-spirit.
Oh, yeah.
2S.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Yes.
And so genuinely, in an effort to be more inclusive, the new president's like, okay, so LGBTQIAA+, in such a himbo way. It's delightful. If you like golden retriever boys, this book has it for you. I promise. So when you're in high school and you're figuring stuff out, now, as an adult, I sometimes, this is a personal failing of mine, I guess, that some people very much so care about questioning or about the place of allies in the community. And I think that that is a more relevant thing for students. I was curious.
That's very interesting, yeah. 'Cause you're figuring everything out. You don't have as much world experience or as experience to debating and all of this stuff. Yeah, that's really interesting.
That's true.
And then depending on, I use the word queer a lot, both to self-identify and to refer to the queer community, but that is a word that has been used in very hurtful ways.
Yeah.
And there are people, especially older members of the community, that remember when that word was only used for hate.
Yeah.
Language is powerful.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said with that, about the, reclamation of terms that used to be hurtful and using them now as a empowerment or, way to move on. Like, I do use queer as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I had said that around one of my older relatives who is not even that old, but she's a Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I was queer and she was like horrified. She was like, don't call yourself that. Like, you're, whatever. And I was like, no, I don't see it as a bad term. I see that as, for me, inclusive. But it is very dependent, I think, on your age, where you grew up.
Yeah.
I think what you were exposed to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll even throw in that some people feel empowered by labels and some people don't.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's
That's
a lot
true.
of diversity with that.
Yeah. One of the main themes of the book is also, I think, exemplified by the motto of the LGBTQ plus society, which is you don't have to come out to come in.
Yeah.
Now, that phrase was argued about that, like, just by being here, you're putting yourself under suspicion. But once the club became much larger and everyone felt invited, people were able to come just to come.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That not everyone knows how they self-identify, especially when you're younger and you're figuring stuff out.
Right.
You have a lot of life ahead of you. Like, some people do know, and sometimes you have 12-year-old Winnie who's like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And I got it.
Yeah, and there's even a part in the book where she gets really fed up with someone else, in her grandma's community. And so Winnie goes to Asbury Park Pride.
Ooh.
And her grandmother's enemy / frenemy sees her there.
Oh, no.
And it becomes this whole thing because it's like, oh my God, she's going to see me. She's going to tell my grandmother. It's going to be this whole thing. And, she freaks out. She's like, we have to go. We have to leave. And eventually she talks to this older woman. And, it's like, I'm not closeted. She's like, I am not closeted. Everywhere in my life, except for with my grandmother, I'm out. Like, I don't live my life, scared or closeted like that. Because the older friend is very much, it's okay to be gay and like, you can talk to me and like, it's okay. And Winnie is very much like, I know, I know it's okay. It's just this one particular and very specific part of my life that I'm not.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah, it's just one of those things too where it's, like you can have those pieces of your life where like, someone sees you differently or you have a different part of your personality that comes through more than in other spaces. Yeah. And I think that's something to acknowledge as well.
For example, I'm way more smooth and charming in real life than I am on this podcast.
We can verify, yeah.
Didn't think that would work.
Well, what do you mean?
Amy,
Yes.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, your election for Linus and Etta, you can't get too much into it, but
A little bit.
How does Linus coming out? Does Linus come out? How does that go? How does the Ohio middle school handle that? How does this impact his friendships? What's going on there?
Well, we don't see too much of it. It happens towards the very... Well, I can say this without telling you the results of the presidential election. In his speech to be president, he actually comes out to the school. And I mean, it is a middle grade novel, so we don't really get... Which you would think we'd get drama. But we don't.
Well, that's for the high schoolers.
Right, that's true. So it's just like, everything works out in that regard where we don't hear too much about anything negative happening. But again, that's at the very end, so I don't know if repercussions come up. That's in Story World. But I mean, I was kind of surprised. I was like, he comes out to Etta earlier in the story when they're like hanging out because well, we're segueing, but they're hanging out and his mom is like, oh, do you want to invite your new friend to dinner with grandma? And so he's like, at first he's like, no. And she's like, oh, are you embarrassed of me? And he's like, no, that's not it. It's that, my grandma doesn't know. And he's like, it's not that I didn't want to tell you this, but, and then he comes out to her. And everything's fine. Right. She doesn't know, like, how to react, but she doesn't care.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting that, like, you also have sort of, like, that older generation, like, piece in your book.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Like, it reminds me of kind of what we were talking about a little bit ago of, not everybody has access to you or who you are.
Yeah.
And the people you choose to, like, I don't know. I think it's very significant who you feel are safe people around you.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I think that finding safe adults is incredibly important. And I'll say that that's something that the kiddos in my book didn't really have as much as I think they needed. There are adults who are helping run the election. There's the principal and the secretary are the two main staff members, but the secretary keeps giving the LGBTQ plus society members all sorts of different reasons for why they can't make photocopies. At first it's it's actually a Brexit problem because Germany supplies the toner and we have a shortage. And then
so there's physical access problems in your book.
There are physical access problems. Or actually, if it's more than 20 pages, then you need to submit a budgetary request, do all of this paperwork. Whereas another character is able to go in and get posters for the soccer team done
with no problem.
There's murmurings when the kids first find out about this great change in the election that they're like, this is important and we need to talk to the principal because this isn't okay.
Yeah.
That she is muttering about Gen Z snowflakes and oat milk lattes.
Oh no.
There is a not insignificant amount of good old fashioned homophobia.
Yeah.
In this book.
Right.
The principal he's got mostly the right spirit, but he is the kind of ally who loves the idea of what winning this contest with Rainbow Alliance could do for the school's image.
Right.
But when it comes to discussions like, this is an actively controversial subject.
Yeah.
For making changes in the school's curriculum to better service LGBTQ plus students, there is immediately some parents don't want that brought up, and the kids say that this is the belief of a parent versus the lived experience of a student, and that they do deserve to be taught about themselves the same way as their straight counterparts. It's something that I think all too often we can see with especially adults trying to support children, is that they will be willing to support you until it requires actual change.
Yeah, that's true.
A kind of performative allyship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I really like, that in Gay Club, that does not stand. And there is some greater karmic retribution on both of these characters.
Okay. I mean, there's even a part in my book where Etta convinces Linus to stand up for himself to his grandma, and at some point he's out with his parents and his grandma, and he says to even his parents, you guys need to do better too, and I need to get better at correcting you, but also it's not just a me thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's awesome, and it's something that I don't think enough people talk about. It's scary to correct your family.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard because that, especially with new names and pronouns, that I've been answering to this name for X amount of years, so
Right.
I'm still going to respond when I hear it.
Right.
Which means that my parents are going to think it's still okay.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And also, like, if you're really upset and maybe you don't have the best handle on it and you're shouting, that, like, maybe the dead name slips out and it's not intentional, but it hurts so much more.
Yep.
And so or if people say, like, oh, it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean. And no, it does matter.
Yep.
If you're not taking it seriously, hurts.
Yep.
Or when you point out to someone that they made a mistake and then they make a huge deal out of the apology.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And then it becomes...
that feels
too
just
much
as weird
too.
and just
Yeah.
as bad. Yeah.
And that suddenly makes this trans person who has been hurt have to then take care of this other person.
Right. They
Yeah.
have to take on the emotional labor.
Right.
And that's not cool to do to a kid.
No.
No. And
It's not cool in general.
Right, but especially to an 8th grader.
Yeah, especially a kid. Yeah, and I mean, point blank, I mean, our identities are so intertwined with our names. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that's, and I have a loved one in my life who is trans and who is very much, I am this person, this is my identity, but with my family, I understand a little bit more. They've been saying this for 20-something years or whatever, and there's a little bit more leeway, but at the same time, I think that's like the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
I would agree with that assessment. One of my relatives is going through, cognitive decline.
Okay.
Dementia.
Yeah.
Because my coming out is more recent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I don't get mad because she literally does not remember.
Yeah.
And that's not...
It's not the same thing.
It's not that she doesn't love me.
Right.
It's not that she doesn't support me. It's that her brain has not stored this information.
Yeah, exactly.
That is an exceptional circumstance.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because there's a lot of nuance, you know.
But old dogs can learn new tricks.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's important to also believe that you can do better.
Yeah. I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to believing you can do better, for back to school, as I get ready for my wonderful high schoolers, and you get ready for your wonderful younger
Indeed.
students, and you do more school-related outreaches. What's something that you can take from your book that you think is going to make you better at working with and supporting the youth?
Gonna make me think?
Yes. Yes, I am going to make you think, Amy, because that's what we do at the library.
Sometimes. Ooh.
Well, I think something that I do a lot of outreaches for different ages, but I do have a lot of experience with kids and teens. I think what I was reminded of while reading this book and also thinking back about all of the stuff, I've done back to school nights and whatever and talks, I think talk to kids like they're people. Talk to kids like they're people. Don't talk to them, in that like condescending way, like, treat kids like they know what's going on, or at least they have an idea of what's going on with themselves, and that they don't necessarily need to be rescued. Because I think while that's important, you want to be a safe space for kids, I think it's equally as important to understand that sometimes kids just need space to be themselves. And that's kind of something that really struck me through this book, because I think a lot of people, especially if you're in the community, have that feeling where you want to be there for the younger generation. You want them to have it easier than you do. But I think sometimes we can overstep and try to give them too much help where it's a bit smothering. And I think there's a lot to be said for just backing off, being there if they need you, but really letting them kind of figure themselves out.
Yeah, but Winnie
Yeah.
is not your sunshine, and she knows what she's got going on, and that, you know, being gay
Winnie
is okay.
she's very strong. She knows what's going on.
For sure. I think other than seconding that, like on the opposite end, just keeping books like this in my back pocket for the parental side of it.
Yes.
Like if they're struggling to understand what their child is going through, like, oh, well, try reading this. It kind of makes it make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
In a simplistic way, because it's
Right.
for kids.
And that's the thing that I think is good about younger books is they're very non-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to explain to parents who are a little bit iffy or who don't totally get things, I honestly think kids' books, like the middle grade books, are a great place to start.
Yeah.
Because it's very, like, you're not going to get into, like, the high school books where we were just talking about. You're not going to get into, like, the dirty details or, like, you know, go far into, like, relationships and, you know, kind of older themes. It's a very, it's a good intro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Frankie, what about you?
Oh, I've been caught in a trap of answering my own question. For this, reminded me of how immediate and important things felt.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Now that, you know, I'm not in high school anymore, I have kind of forgotten how it felt. And this book really transported me back into the stress and trying to make sure that, you know, everyone knew me the way I wanted to be known, and caring so much about
very image-based.
Mm-hmm.
What do people think of me? What do I think of other people? Is everyone judging me?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, like, there are multiple, you know, like, there's cyberbullying both from adults who, you know, disapprove of LGBT student groups, to people within those student groups bullying each other.
Yeah.
Putting recording devices and things and, like, spying, which is not your average high school experience, but it makes a great book.
I'm sure.
This reminds me that, like, just because it's high school doesn't mean it's not important.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that it is important to acknowledge the gravity of these emotions, because while I know high school ends,
Right.
it hasn't for them yet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it will when you're in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it feels like it's the most important time of your life.
And then one day you're just done.
Yeah. You're like,
And
now
it's
what?
really anticlimactic.
And you might
it
not
is.
see these people ever again. Like,
That's
there
true.
are so many people I graduated with that, like, I've never seen again. And probably will not. Probably will never be in the same room as them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I guess on that note,
Yeah.
thank you so much for listening to Read with Pride Back to School Edition. Bye!
Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to visit the Ocean County Library's website for more podcasts and events. All the titles mentioned in today's episode can be found throughout the Ocean County Library, free with your library card. Until next time, happy reading!